Yodelay-o, yodelay-o, yodelay-o. What do you do in the evening when you don't know what to do? Read a book, play a game, every night is just the same. What do you say if I tell you how to keep from feeling blue? My advice is good to take and it's easier to do. When you're all alone, any old night, and you're feeling out of tune, pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, you'll be feeling better soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Look, look, look at the stars above. Look, look, look at those sweeties love. Oh boy, give me a night in June. I mean it, all you got to do any old night when you're feeling out of tune. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. When you make a date any old night, gonna meet your sweetie soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, that's the only place to spoon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Walk, walk, kiss and then walk again, talk, talk, kiss and then talk again. Oh joy, sweethearts are all in tune. I mean it, when it's raining out, stay in a room, but on a lovely night in June, here's what to do, sweetie, and you just get out and get under the moon. If you're with a girl and she is cold, says she doesn't want her spoon, don't you feel blue? Here's what you do, just get out and get under the moon. If you feel a kiss and she gets sore, she'll forget it mighty soon. Don't stop to fret, she'll learn to pet when you get her under the moon. Indoors, there's not a thing to do. In-laws walk in and out on you. Oh boy, sister and brother too. I've tried it, just take my advice. If she is nice, nice as any night in June, just take her hand, she'll understand, and get out and get under the moon.
Yellow? Yellow? Uh-oh. What else have I broken here? Hold on. I think I may have reverb on. There we go. How's that? I can see I'm saying something. Yeah, I've turned the echo off. I don't know. I don't know. Can y'all hear me okay? Does it sound okay? Is the echo off? I honestly, I think I did touch buttons. He's down. Hey, Ezekiel. Yeah, I don't know I don't know. The For some reason the default mic in OBS changed, and I honestly I didn't touch any buttons. Um, that's weird. Sorry about that, everybody. The night that a bunch of people came on at once, and I'm like soundless. But yeah, this I don't know this boom mic. It's a good boom mic, but it has an echo function. So if I do this, and I can do this, and it sounds super weird. I did that to James one time, and he just started laughing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, the default mic changed to literally default, which made it nothing. Not even the, not even the laptop's microphone. But hopefully y'all can hear me now. Josh gives me a thumb up. Josh, that stuff you're doing right now looks phenomenal, dude. It is super awesome. Hopefully I didn't break something else and y'all don't hear me now. So if you can hear me, give me another thumbs up or something. I will put this in chat. Uh, okay. All right. Good. Googly moogly. Hey, 1313. I am glad you're here tonight. Don't go anywhere for a few minutes. Um, I've got something to show you on the screen shortly. I was hoping you'd show up tonight because you've been following this probably more hardcore than anybody here. Um, yeah, Josh, it's super cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to like seeing everything, but yeah, but sorry about that, everybody. I don't know. It OBS. I could see the meter not moving, and that's why I was like, "What the hell?" I unplugged the USB mic, and so I decided to see what the hell was going on. It was set to default, which should be the USB mic, and it wasn't. So I forced it. So nah. Um, let's see here. Let me. We should all be thankful that in the fixing of the mic, I did not accidentally end the stream. That would have ultra sucked. Um, yeah, that sucked. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'll make sure that everything is set correctly before I come on next time, just in case OBS decides to crack out. Um, that was super weird. So I've the image that I've got up again tonight, of course, is for Haunted Cypress 1910. That's my home haunt. Uh, I've got some show and tell, especially for 13 Skeletons, because he's probably going to drop his jaw when I put up the slideshow. But if you haven't yet, please definitely go to the Facebook page, yada yada, Haunted Cypress 1910. The website, I had no chance to work on the website the past 2 days since I talked to y'all Monday. That is on my agenda. I had quite a bit of stuff to do the last 2 days, and we are catching the rainy remnants of Nicholas, whatever the hell it's called. It's been literally raining all day, and I've just been having to do some other stuff. But uh, hopefully everybody's doing okay. It is spooky time show and tell tonight. Um, knowing, and this, I know this sounds weird, knowing that 13 Skeletons is here, I honestly, the slideshow I'm getting ready to put up in a moment after I make sure everybody is up to date. I really did it for 13. So 13, you apparently knew that you should come in tonight. For anybody that's been following the past many months, will know that, and I guess I could do this an easier way of giving you the Cliff Notes version. Um, I believe today is the 1 year anniversary of Hurricane Sally, I believe. Sally, of course, did not hit us directly, but we were right on the bad side of it. And of course, Hurricane Sally went through Gulf Shores as a category, I don't know, 3 or 2, whatever the hell it was. We got a lot of bad wind here. The business across the street, which is Marine Max, a bunch of their stuff blew over this way. It was all their fault, quite honestly, and they didn't want to take responsibility, blah, 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 blah. So over the course of the past year, they have been building a building right across the street from me and another section of the block. I comprise about a half a block of land, and then there's 4 houses that are on the other half of the block. And some of you folks have seen the map of my the stuff I'm going to do for Halloween. So it's a big building. Nothing I could do about it. It's zoned for it. I don't mind it. It blocks out a lot of other weird stuff, and I can't hear them working anymore. But about 2 months ago, the building itself was done, and it's taken them a long time for the electrical. I have my theories on that, which makes me laugh. But they installed 5 400-watt LED industrial lights, 4 of which are on the Cypress Street side, the street that I live on, and then there's 1 on the side. 3 of those lights, 3 of those 4 lights, are directly on my property. So 2 months ago, I did a preemptive 311. It's basically telling the city, hey, there might be an issue, code ordinance, and all that stuff. And they came out and they looked, but the building had not been wired for power. Chat's been disconnected. Why is chat disconnected? Okay. Well, this is just becoming a cluster this evening. Chat disconnected. Please. Let's do. I'm still broadcasting. Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know if y'all saw that, but it said chat disconnected on my end. I don't know what the hell. For God's sakes, why is this happening? But anyway, so apparently there are gremlins in the studio. I don't know what the hell's going on. I literally don't know what's going on. If for some weird reason I cut out, just I don't know. Somebody let me know. So anyway, so I can see y'all again. All right. So, so 2 months ago, I don't know, where did I leave? Did y'all hear that whole story? I don't even know where I left off. Did the stream actually cut out? What part? What 13? Tell me what part that I left off on that y'all heard, and then I'll start from there. I don't even know what the hell's going on. My jiggle bits are working, and my mic is working, and YouTube says it's working, and I'll just wait for somebody to tell me the last that you heard with the story about across the street, and then I'll continue. I don't want to skip and you miss out. So whenever somebody can tell me what the last part of that story was, I will say this much, however, that like I said, we are getting extremely heavy rains, some really naughty weather from Nicholas, the remnants of Nicholas. So maybe my internet's going wonkers, McMeow meow or something. Hopefully not. I didn't anticipate Wonker McMeow meow tonight. But I'll wait for somebody in the group to tell me the last of what they heard of the story. And I'll continue from there. But I won't continue until I know where we left off. Because I want to be sure that everybody's up to speed. YouTube's even saying my stream health is poor. That's a load of garbage. Garbage. Load of garbage. YouTube, you full of garbage. We'll just all wait around until I know that I'm jiggle bitting. Power not connected. No, got connected. All right. So apparently too, maybe it's a YouTube thing because chat just started flying. All right. So heard everything. You called for 3. Okay. Okay. Sorry, buddy. My God. See, it's an adventurous evening. Yes, 13. The lights are on. You're going to laugh. So, but I just want to bring everybody to see. So, 2 months ago, I did a preemptive 311 to the city to say, hey, Marine Max has put these heavy industrial lights across the street. They only have about 8 feet of property from the city right of way. There's no reason for these lights to be on there, especially since the street light on my side of the street illuminates the whole thing. I don't think I included that in the slideshow. It's about 6 or 7 slides. So yesterday, the building's been wired for about a month, but yesterday Gulf Power came and flipped the big fuse switch, and I giggled because I'm like, ooh, tonight might be the night. And I had already gotten the solidified 311 ready because the city came and looked at the preemptive 311 and said, absolutely, we've looked at it. There's no power, but we can't, there's nothing for us to see. So the code guy gave me his name and number and said, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to close this one out. Everything that he said basically let me know that they were very ready to come and look at this thing when the power got switched on. So I had the new 311 ready to go, copy and paste it. And I don't know who else has 311, but it's where you can basically tell the city about potholes and encroachment and light issues and overgrown premises and abandoned cars and all that stuff. It's really kind of a cool system. So I saw the guy flip the power on yesterday, and like clockwork, because these are dusk till dawn lights, the lights came on, and I was already situated for an apocalyptic version of these lights, and it's even worse than that. And a neighbor of mine down the street came by this way and was beyond aggravated, just so pissed about it. I was laughing because I'm like, God, this is worse than I even thought. And of course, all of my neighbors, which they all knew I was going to submit to the city that this was ridiculous, and I explained to them how bright they were going to be and all that stuff. And a couple of my neighbors today saw me and said, Mike, it's like, we saw the lights. Dude, you wouldn't even be able to decorate for Halloween or Christmas. And when you see these pictures, your jaws are going to drop. So last night I took about 48 pictures. You won't have to go through all of these pictures. I did about 6 or 7. Submitted it to the city, and it was received. I did this at midnight last night. Received by the city this morning, and I'm pretty sure that the code guy has to physically see the lights at night. He has to be able to say, yes, I did go there. I did look at it and see it with my own eyeballs, even though he's got some fantastic pictures. So that if it's challenged or something, he can say, I went and saw it with my own eyes. So that's the long story short. So this has been kind of a year in the making. It's interesting. The lights were turned on basically the night before the anniversary of Hurricane Sally that kind of started all this. So on your screen, I've made this pretty big, so it's going to cover up some stuff. I'm going to get rid of the thing that you see here, which is this image. This should disappear shortly. I will get rid of the Flame of Doom. Should be gone momentarily from your screen annotations. And then you're going to see a pretty good size slideshow come up. There's about 6 or 7 of them. I'll let it just scroll through them for like the next 30 minutes. So you'll have plenty of time to see them. I tried to make it slow enough so it's You can see it. So I'll leave it on for a good 30 minutes or so. Um, 13 says, sounds like Seinfeld episode with a chicken across the street. Yeah. All right, so let me turn this on. And the first picture you will see, my house is on the left and the building is on the right. um, and you'll see images showing. I needed to show how bright they were, how far into my yard they encroached. You'll see a picture of my front porch. This picture, literally, it is about 10 o'clock at night. That's how bright my front porch is now. You'll see a picture of one side of my yard in the house that literally looks like I'm in the middle of a baseball field during a game. You'll see the picture of the building with the 4 lights in the front, the 1 light on the side. These are 400, and then another picture of my house. Thank God I mowed my yard a few days ago, so it looks really. But as you scroll through, you'll see a picture of the 4 houses to the east of me, how bright they're being lit by this building, and then it'll scroll through from the street view and everything else. So 13, one, thank you so much for being inquisitive about it for so long. You finally get to see the answer to your question: are the lights on yet? They are. I'm in my living room right now, and the lights coming through the front window are exceptionally bright. Fortunately, the sheer curtains kind of dim them down so I can just kind of look out. But when I walk out of my front door, now I have one of these lights blasting me in the face. It's so bright that if somebody were to sneak up on my porch somehow, it would take me a second to adjust my eyes. But this shows 13 especially, since, like I said, you've been the most inquisitive, and once again, very thankful for that. This shows why I would not ever be able to decorate again, especially my side yard for the drive-in theater. It's an extremely high I'm almost positive that I won't have to. I'm positive I won't have to escalate this beyond city ordinance. Most of the state of Florida, the ordinances basically say that you cannot have light that trespasses beyond the border of your home property. And as you look at these pictures, you see the picture of the actual building across the street from me. If you take the back of that building and go out about 8 foot, there's about 8 feet of property. They'd barely be able to drive. They have to be careful driving a golf cart back there when there was a temporary fence, because the building was built at the precise point they could do it for property line variance. So it's right along the back of the property. There's no reason for them to have any sort of light back there. I guess I should have actually included the picture that shows how the building was being lit prior to the lights coming on. The 2 mounds of the 2 clay dirt mounds, today, actually, during the rainstorm, they're leveling off the property because they really kind of rutted it up pretty bad. I'm pretty sure they're going to get ready to put sod grass, but I'm going to actually get the city to. Oh, and it says chat disconnected again. Okay. I'll just keep talking. I don't know. This has got to be a YouTube thing because everything else is fine. I'm going to get the city down the road when they're completely done and the lights are whatever with the lights to come and beautify the city right of way, to kind of hide a portion of the building with maybe some trees, foliage of some sort. Oh, all the chat is flying through. Just a tad bright. How could they allow that? Your street lamps are amber colored. They couldn't match those. It was Australia. They'd already been smashed out. Plenty of Ezekiel, several neighbors have already thought about doing that. Um, and how 13 said, how are you so calm about this? The funny thing is, 13. Let me start from the beginning. Yes, Ezekiel, they are a tad bright. 13. How could they allow that? I'm not entirely sure. It's like with anything else. The city can get plans for a building and not really realize what's going on as far as other things. The company that built the building, GCG Construction, they're here in Florida. It's a good company. The building itself is well built. It won't withstand a hurricane more than a Category 2. The superstructure will hold, but the metal itself will be everywhere. Because the other side of this building is open air to the south. And Hurricane Sally, the winds for 8 hours and the gusts were directly from the south. So this is nothing but a big wind catcher at this point. So all that there's two types of metal. The top half of it are pretty good sized metal sheets. The bottom are these thin slats that you could pick up with 2 fingers, and they're, I don't know, 15 foot tall. Those will just all explode out on the first good hurricane. But the city may not have been aware of, or they may have been told differently about the lighting on the street side. There's absolutely no access points whatsoever. There's no doors, holes, windows, slits, nothing. On the literally the back of the building is towards me. So there was no reason for any of these lights. These lights are also, they're 400 watt Luthania LED industrial lights, and they're designed for about 85% of the light they produce to go outward, not downward. If you were to look at the picture of the building again, and the chat just disconnected, so I don't know what the hell. If you look at the building itself, a majority of the building is not lit. It's everything else. Literally, this is going so far into my yard and my porch that if I were to put Christmas lights up, you wouldn't be able to see them. But to answer your question 13, how are you so calm about this? It's because I have, fortunately, over the course of several years and decades, depending on who it is, I've got a rapport with some city folks. The code enforcement fellow that came 2 months ago, it was very, and he was making it very indicative that he wanted to come and see this thing lit. Gulf Power, the street lights that we have are amber, and the one that was lighting this up, they broke inadvertently powering this building up. And I said, the Sanders Beach area, I'm actually this is the other funny thing. I am actually the head of the Dark Sky Project here in Sanders Beach. If you don't know what the Dark Sky Project is, look it up. Just look up Dark Sky Project. It's basically where cities and states are trying to eliminate light pollution, like you see in these pictures. I'm the head of that. I've been the head of that for well over a year. So this makes me laugh because this is completely against what we're trying to do here in Sanders Beach, because we are on the water. So Gulf Power, when they broke the amber sodium light on the pole that was lighting this building up, I went out there and I said, hey, you're going to replace that, right? It was real nice and real funny. And he's like, oh, yes, sir. I said, well, we're getting together the Dark Sky Project. We don't want LED street lights here, the bright white ones. He's like, no, sir, we can't do that anyway. We have to put a sodium amber light back because you're so close to the water. And oddly enough, we have to order it. So that was several weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it was another part of the case where if Gulf Power can't put their street lights back as a bright white LED, they have to be amber. It lets me know that the lights across the street from me are completely a no-go. They're a no-go for multiple reasons. So 13, that's why I'm kind of staying calm about it. I'm glad that finally I'm at the next level of being able to report these lights, because I would hate for this to have happened, the first week of October, when I'm just pretty much committed to getting things ready. I should be able to take care of this relatively quickly. And I've got multiple ways that I'll take care of it if certain ways don't work. So, Ezekiel, thank you so much. That is the family house. It is about 2,700 square feet. There's 14 rooms on one story. It's about 115 years old. It was built onto multiple times. That's why the roof is so weird and why the house is so wide. The glass in the house is the original glass. It's the usual warped glass that you see and it's the same glass that's been through over 100 years worth of hurricanes. Let me see. Let me read here. He says, all the neighbors have white houses too, which reflect light. Yes. Ezekiel says, it's an invitation for graffiti. Yes. And it is. The Dark Sky Project basically says that bright is not always better anyway. And if you notice, like I said, on the building, 85 to 90% of the light that's being produced is focused away from the building. So the building itself has several dark spots. And because the lights are so bright, anybody looking over there to see what's going on wouldn't be able to see much of anything because they would be blinded. Also, according to the Dark Sky Project, bright lights are typically more of an invitation for thieves and burglars because now they can see what they're doing. Makes sense. It's yeah, and that's and all of that goes back to answering 13's question of how are you so calm about this. It's so absurd, 13. It's so absurd and actually worse than I thought that I can only be calm about it because I know it's going to be taken care of. Like I said, this is basically light intrusion, and it's not just me. If it was just me, the code guy may go like, well, it's just you. I don't know what the hell. But it's literally, and there's pictures I didn't include here that show the going the other way down Cypress Street. So you've got my house, you have the four houses that you see lit brightly, but going the opposite direction, there's actually two more houses that that have porches that literally the light is going so harshly to the side that it's actually going west down Cypress Street, and those people couldn't sit on their porches. So you've got five, let's see, 5, 6. You have at least 7 houses that are directly impacted by this. You have a couple of others on both sides that are half affected, meaning that the light does start to fade the further down you go. But also, these lights are dangerous for drivers on Cypress Street because either way, you've got these lights that are extremely bright. They're not focused down like you have street lamps. So it's just multiple things. It's one of those things. It's a waiting game at this point. 13. I knew this day was coming. I knew this night was coming. I'm glad it's doing it now so that I can progress on to the next level to have it taken care of. So he says, I love old glass. It's thicker at the bottom than the top. Yep, that's actually true. They could put shades over them to block the light path, which is also true. Ezekiel says, don't you have some game where you drive by mailboxes with baseball bats? Yeah, they do that here in the States. These lights are up pretty high. They had to use a cherry picker to put them in. I don't know what the ultimate end game is for these lights, except that even if it comes down to they just turn them off and never use them, the covers come off. And there is a gentleman. He's an actual industrial electrician for Sacred Heart Hospital. He knew exactly these lights, and he said that they use them at the hospital. He said they're going to be bright, and he said they actually make internal covers for these. So you can take the whole front plate off, install the cover, and put it inside and put it back, and all of that light gets completely focused down. I'd be fine with that. I think that it would still be bright. It's just too bright. They don't need these lights anyway. Like I said, it's kind of ridiculous. But um, I've been waiting now for months and months and months and months and months to be able to have this evening, especially for 13 Skeletons, like I said, who's just graciously been biting at the bit and asking about it. But basically, there's 5 of these lights, 4 facing Cypress and 1 facing the other, which already has floodlights. So you're looking at 2,000 watts worth of light for no reason. So, and like I said, at this point, if I had my decorations up, including the drive-in theater, they would be completely washed out because of this. So I'm actually very thankful that this is happening finally now, so that it can be addressed now. Mid-September is fine. So, and I have the other thing too. 13, why I'm so calm. I've taken the last 2 months from the time I knew that they were installed to now to address the Sanders Beach Neighborhood Association board, which I'm on. I have the complete backing of the board. I have the complete backing of at least 10 directly affected, 7 super directed, and the other 3, they're all aggravated as hell about it. And then a lot of just other residents in Sanders Beach that honestly don't like Marine Max in general for their own various reasons, which I know of, but I won't broadcast out. And this makes and if you go 1 block to the west and you hit Cypress and Pace Boulevard, that is one of our 2 main entrances into. It's one of our 2 main corridors into Sanders Beach, and so now as soon as you turn into Sanders Beach off of Pace, it looks like you're going into an industrial complex. It also gives the impression that we have a high crime rate here, and actually Sanders Beach has Pensacola's lowest crime rate. So it's just a smattering, dozens of reasons why I am staying calm, because this will be addressed. So, but now I can officially show. I can officially show what's going on. Like I said, there was plenty of other pictures, but this was enough to give the impression that I wanted to give. Like I said, I'm just glad that I had mowed the grass, because at least it looks good. I have not talked to a few of the neighbors in the other houses that you see. I don't see them as much, but they already knew that I'd be taking care of it, and then anything I needed them to do, just to let them know. But anyway, that was the main show and tell of the evening. Like I said, I'm ecstatic that and chat disconnected again. I'm ecstatic that all of you are here, but I have to give a little bit more ecstaticness. Don't use it; it's not a word. To 13, since he's been very proactive. 13 says, "You still playing the die-in?" Yes. If for some reason I'm not seeing your chat immediately, it's really because I don't know. Chat keeps disconnecting and it just comes running in. 13. Yes, I am still playing the die-in theater. Once again, that's why I'm staying kind of calm. Is I'm actually glad that the lights got kicked on now, so that I can at least know, do I need to change my plans because this may take a while, or I was worried that the lights would kick on like mid-October when everything was up and running. But yeah, I'm still playing the die-in theater. I have started doing what I need to do for the front porch to make it the concession stand. I plan on having some videos and pictures coming very shortly. So yeah, so that's still in the works. It's still in the works. The only way that I would have to change plans is if, for some reason, I hear back from the city in the next day or so that these lights may have to stay on for a while. In which case, I'll still fight it. That's why I'm not overly concerned. I know that there's no way that these lights can stay the way they are. So yes, totally, totally, totally. I'm still on track to do the die-in theater with the front porch being the concession stand. Ezekiel says, any ladies of the night using it, LOL, asking for a friend. Not that I know of. I'll keep you apprised. He says they could put amber shades in maybe if they're internal shades. Well, Keith, yeah, they could, but the idea is they really don't. They could put in an amber shade that also blocks out 100% of the light focused outside of their property. The idea is there should be zero light being directed anywhere past the 8 foot of their property that they own before the right of way. So what they really should have done was put turtle lights, which are an LED amber, very beautiful amber, almost orange. And I don't love that. But they're focused straight down and they are low wattage. So plenty of light, not in people's eyes, and a very, very deep amber color. That would have been actually really pretty over there. But these aren't going to fly. If they leave these up and they decide to shade them, then it will be 100% outward directing shading, and all the light will be focused downward. If they want to make the light focus downward in amber color as well, more power to them. That's fine. 13, the grass might grow better. Yes, I don't need that, by the way. I have to mow my grass more than I like. I'm very fortunate to have the grass and the house and everything else, but oh boy, it's a lot of grass to mow. And I actually mow it with a 18-inch electric mower, and I've been doing that for almost 20 years. I don't use a riding mower on the grass. I've had 2 riding mowers for this property, and I don't particularly care for them. That's just me, though. So, like I said, that's the show and tell. I'll just let it ramble on. Is there a sidewalk under those lights? No, Keith, there isn't. Actually, right now, majority of Sanders Beach, the Cypress Street corridor, the sidewalk is on my side. If you notice, there's a sidewalk on my side. On the other side, it's nothing but dirt. Dirt. So it doesn't show it in this picture. Uh-oh. Okay, something is seriously wrong with YouTube. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. It said I went offline and told me to exit, but it looks like I'm still here. So let me know if you can still hear me. Yeah, Keith. God, yeah. There's something wrong with YouTube tonight. There's no way it can be me. There's so many weird things going on. And I look over at OBS, and OBS is cranking like a champ. So it's got to be YouTube. Yeah, Keith. There's no sidewalk over there. Once this is all said and done, and they stop with the construction and everything else, I'm going to send a request to the city, because all of that is city right of way. Everything that you see being lit, 95% of it is city right of way. There's very little of Marine Max's property between the building and their property line. I'm going to ask the city to beautify it with trees and a sidewalk. I would like to see a sidewalk on the other side. So Ezekiel says, you're very patient. I just smashed some lights out the first night. Well, like I said, I've had some neighbors that have had have volunteered to do that, and I let them know, doing it the proper legal way sends a message to Marine Max has been over there for 7 years, and they've been nothing but problems. They literally think their shit doesn't stink. This is not the first. This is not the first major problem I've had with them. It's not the first major problem, I should say, that the neighborhood has had with them. Uh, it seems to be an ongoing thing with them. They consider Sanders Beach like an alleyway, a loading dock, a dump. We don't exist to them. They're highly disrespectful. If this is how Marine Max as a company operates, I can't imagine how they still exist. But I don't think they do. I think this is a special case over here. Thanks, 13. I don't know what's going on. YouTube blanked out and said you're offline and maybe hit an exit key. I did that, and then I came back to the stream was still going. Keith says, is there bedrooms on the front of your house? Yes. So when you find a picture that is easier to see, like I said, the house has been built onto. There's been two major renovations to the house. They're old renovations. The oldest renovation is probably about 85 years ago. The front porch, the windows that are on the front porch are the living room. You'll see two double doors, maybe. Those double doors on the porch actually go to what is now called the bar. Y'all will be able to see the bar in pictures this Halloween. The part of the house that protrudes out is a small bedroom, and the side of the house where my car is, all those windows, is another bedroom that is split in two, but not by a wall. If that makes any sense. The house itself, like I said, has 14 rooms on one floor. There's 2 bathrooms. There's 2 enclosed back porches. There is a pretty decent sized kitchen in the inside. The house at one point had 3 kitchens. There's what we call the antechamber. There's a small that goes to the bar. There's a small bedroom in the back. There is a formal dining room. And there is a pretty decent sized laundry room and storage. Hey, Mark, what's up? Yeah, it's actually a bar. One day I will pull up some old pictures of the bar. I've de-renovated the bar. The bar actually, at one point, was one of the several apartments that my grandmother rented out to make money when my grandfather passed away before I was born. There are 2 clawfoot tubs in the house. There is a deck in the back that would fit about 100 people. Can't see it by satellite because of the trees. I'll take pictures one day. Yeah, the house itself is interesting because there are rooms in the house that are being used for something else that easily could be bedrooms. The living room, and there's a big size living room. The living room actually used to be one of the apartments. Like I said, back when my grandmother needed to make money, she rented out several rooms of the house for apartments, typically for sailors. The side of the house that you see where my car is, further back, she rented out spaces for trailers. So at one point there were 5 single wide trailers in the back. That tells you how big the property is. So she was utilizing the size of the property in the house to make money for the family and to run the household. So, hopefully soon, by the end of this year, I will actually have all of the de-renovations done to the house, bringing it back to probably 80 some odd years ago, and I'll have some pretty decent pictures of it, and I'll definitely share it with all of y'all. Of course, the front porch, you can't really see it from some of these pictures, but the front porch, there's actually 3 doors going into the house from the front porch. Like I said, the double doors on the end of the porch, they go into the bar at this point. There is one door that goes into the small bedroom that you see that protrusion, and then there's the door that goes into the foyer. There's actually a foyer in the house, and that foyer then leads to the dining room, the living room, and one of the bedrooms, and then from there you just meander around the house. You just meander around the house. The house is definitely haunted. That story will be on cypress1910.com. Hopefully within the next week. I meant to have it tonight, but I just been too busy. The front light is well lit now. Yeah. My wharf style porch light. I still have it on. The interesting thing is, I almost was like, you know what? It's so bright out there, I'll just turn it off. But I figured if the code guy did come by, I didn't want the front porch light to be off. So he thought, well, I was just utilizing the obnoxious lights now. It's well lit for now, yeah. The house, though, I'm going to be doing a lot of history on the house, and it will be on the website along with a lot of older pictures and newer pictures. The idea of the cypress1910.com website is not solely for Halloween, but it's to basically start putting out the history of the house and the ghost of the house, Willie Rozicki. So, um, uh, there is a lot of history to this house. I'm very proud of this house. Ezekiel says, "How long has it been in your family?" Ezekiel, my family built what we call the core of the house. About 100. The core of the house is 115 years old. The core of the house, if you look on the roof line, the core of the house is the highest peak, and it comprises 4 rooms of the house. The 4 original rooms, now, this tells you how much it's been built onto. The 4 original rooms of the house comprise the highest peak that you see on the roof line. And that would be the 4 original rooms were the living room. Well, let me put it this way. The 4 original rooms of the house, which are now the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, and the foyer. That's the 4 original rooms of the house. And what they are now, current day, like I said, is living room, kitchen, dining room, and foyer. The dining room, when I was very small, was actually my great-grandmother's bedroom. When she passed away, it was turned into a dining room. That tells you how big that room is. The house originally had 3 kitchens. There was 2 kitchens operating at once. The third kitchen was the original kitchen that was in the back. The original kitchen was moved to where the kitchen is now, and the original kitchen is now the laundry room and some storage. Let's see. It's mid-September. You should have at least some Halloween decorations. 13, you're absolutely right. You're 1,000% right. But let me tell you, and I normally would have. I would the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern that's normally on the front porch right now, which you should have been able to see from the pictures. I took the pumpkin down because even though I don't think it would have mattered, and I haven't decorated. Once again, not that I think this would have mattered, but I did not want to give the wrong impression to code enforcement, city code enforcement, that I was solely complaining about the lights when I needed to complain about them because of my Halloween decorations. Because that's farthest from the truth. I wanted to be sure that the focus was pointed towards the fact that the lights themselves are year-round obtrusive, that the entire neighborhood is against them, and that it had nothing to do. Like if this was happening during Christmas, I normally start putting Christmas lights up end of November. If I was in the situation of Christmas at the end of November and these lights were not on yet, I would have waited still, so that the main focus, the main issue with these lights is not a specific time of year and that my lights aren't looking too hot because your lights are overpowering them. I wanted the focus to be that it really is a generalized, highly focused, year-round um, light trespassing. Um, like right now, I can't even sit on my front porch. As you can tell, I could not sit on my front porch and enjoy it. Uh, it would look like the people passing by that I was doing a theater presentation. I could do like Broadway on my damn porch because of these lights. So that's really it. It's of anything that's 13 that I would say that I don't want to say it's bummed me out about all of this, but it's a kind of a sore point is the fact that I have not done any decorating yet, waiting on these lights to come up so that I could report them and everything else. That's really the biggest thing. The lights themselves will be taken care of, but I would have liked to have kept my pumpkin out there and started decorating. I just need to be I need to keep myself formal and I need to keep myself professional while I deal with this. Ezekiel says, "How long has it been in your family?" Oh, I just answered that. I'm sorry. So Ezekiel, sorry, going back on that, 115 years. Um, uh, like I said, the core of the house is 115 years old. It was built by my family, and as the family grew exponentially, the house was added onto because there was plenty of property. Um, the stories I could tell y'all, and we can actually one night we'll just do not sounds obnoxious, but one night we'll just do story time about this house, and I'll have pictures, and I'll do a slideshow, and the house has got an enormous amount of history. A section of the house, the section that you can see that's next to my car, was actually built from a huge wooden ship that floated from the Pensacola Bay into my family's yard during a huge hurricane, um, 60, 70 years ago. Um, uh, that part of the house was mostly built with that ship. The skeleton of the house is Indian mahogany. It's extremely heavy house. It's extremely hard wood. So maybe if any of y'all are interested, I can do a live stream where we do a Q&A about the house. uh, there's a lot of very interesting history, and of course I've done the history of Willie Rozicki, the resident ghost, who is real. Um, we can go through that again too. I always love talking about that. There's always infinite amounts of things to talk about this house. The people that have lived here, and the foyer was used for multiple coffin viewings. So it's a lot of fun history. Hey, Icy Monsters. So we'll plan on that. Hell, maybe we will be doing a Sunday, not Monday stream. So maybe we'll do it on a Sunday stream or something. And then anybody that can't make it can at least tune in later and watch the show. Like I said, there's, I mean, just an amazing amount of history. And besides being the Sanders Beach Neighborhood Association Dark Sky Project head, I am also the historical committee of Sanders Beach, and so I tend to retain a lot of history. I've retained a lot of history of this house from many, many, many of the family members, both past and still with us. And that's, like I said, that's why going back on the crazy building across the street, the Sanders Beach, we're known as us old folks, and before me, we were nicknamed the Bio Chico Rats because we're also on the Bio Chico. Uh, all the plumbers and electricians and shipbuilders and steel workers and everything else, almost all those people lived in Sanders Beach. This was a workers part of Pensacola, and there's been shipyards and everything else. The building across the street, anything that's built can be unbuilt. To me, it's not permanent. Sanders Beach is like that in general. The one thing about the building right now are the lights. The lights are completely, honestly, just disrespectful for the whole neighborhood, and not just obtrusive. It's just, like I said, Marine Max is in their own little pretend world, like they're better than everybody else. And it's this particular Marine Max, at least in is a used boat dealership. Whoop-de-doo. Their mechanic shop, which this whole building is. I have intimate knowledge about their mechanical abilities, and they are not even subpar. They are almost criminal, quite honestly. And I'll say almost so that I don't get smacked for being outright. But uh, ideally, this gets taken. I have a really, really interesting feeling that the code guy will probably come around tonight. Not knocking on my door, but I do believe that they have to visually see it, so that if they get taken to court or something by whoever, they can say that, yes, I visually went there and looked at it, and this was my verdict. So I didn't plan on, only seeing the lights for one night, and that was it. I'm almost positive I'll see them all weekend long. But they will be taken care of legally, one way or another. No BB guns. For one, I don't think a BB gun would actually shoot these out. The thickness of the thickness of the covers is actually pretty hefty, and the actual whole enclosure itself is metal. But I was kind of excited, in a weird way, excited to be able to have tonight's stream with this little presentation, especially since like I said, I knew 13 was biting at the bit, asking about it. I was like, finally, I can say, well, here you go, and it's worse than I thought. So it just makes me laugh. I'm sitting here looking at the pictures again too. The one picture, by the way, where I'm far away from my house and the building, and it looks like there's a tree in front of me. That is the back porch of my neighbor's house across N Street, which is a side street. He's one of the ones that's being heavily impacted by this as well. Yeah, Norm Macdonald passed away. That's insane at 61. That's incredibly young. Incredibly young. What I will do, though, I'm going to stop this presentation and put the other thing up so that if YouTube decides to use a thumbnail, it won't be the crazy pictures. So we'll turn it off. We'll turn the Flame of Doom back on. And we'll turn that back on. There we go. And like I said, what I'll do next stream is we'll do some history of the house instead of how it looks like I'm in the middle of a nighttime professional baseball game. But it's 9:03. We'll take it to a quarter after the hour, and then I'll let y'all go, and then I will let myself go. And now that I've bored y'all silly with the update on the lighting schema across the street. But yeah, I'll try to put together. I will say this much: I don't think that we could go through the amount of history that I've got in my head of the house in one stream. So we'll do it in parts, and we'll stagger them. Maybe I'll save the spookier stuff to closer to October, or maybe I won't. Or maybe I'll have a lot of spooky stuff, and y'all be like, "Oh my God, lots of spooky stuff." Yes, the eBay auctions. Keith, that was something I was going to also try to get done for tonight to announce it. I have been so freaking busy. I didn't get to do anything. That is on my agenda starting tomorrow. And I'll announce it well before Sunday stream because I do have a lot of stuff that like I said before, I'm pushing out of the house. My apologies for anybody that was looking forward to that. It's been a wild couple of days. Yard work, other computer work, then dealing with this stuff across the street. That alone took me about 3 hours last night, from the picture taking, getting everything ready, emailing out some other folks about it, contacting Gulf Power because they need to replace the light they broke. So, Keith, I will announce that all over the planet, hopefully within the next weekend. Not next weekend, the next few days. Because tomorrow we're supposed to have nothing but really bad weather again, so I can't go outside. So uh, I'll do some catch up. And then of course I do plan on getting Willie Rozicki's story on the website so that everybody can ooh and ah over being able to read that and start with the history of the house. I'm excited to finally really kind of batten down the hatches and start working on the house's website. Blah, 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 blah. And kind of veering off into haunt news, I believe we are coming up on. I don't think Haunt for Heroes is this coming weekend. If I wasn't afraid of touching a button, I would actually look it up. But that's coming up. The website is up and running. If you can, even if you can buy one pay it forward ticket, it's $7.50 plus handling fees. Haunt news in general, I have actually seen some other haunts announce that they will not be open this year. Some of them I've seen some where they'll be opening for their last year this year. And then of course we have another round of HHN coming up this weekend. That should be fun. 8 days. Okay. All right. Thanks, Keith. I've been trying to push quite a bit on the Haunt for Heroes Facebook page. So there should be some fun stuff there. But other than that, definitely we need to start seeing some pictures from 13 Skeletons. I see pictures from Josh. Josh has been sending some fantastic pictures. Keith, of course, his videos and pictures are super awesome. I need to point at myself and start getting some pictures and video out myself. So, but definitely, now that, like I said, now that I've got the next step in these lights, I'm going to continue doing what I can do in the house to get things ready on the outside without actually starting the decorating of the outside, which I would have normally started doing. I just, like I said, I've got to stay formal about this and make sure that I stay as professional as possible. Most everybody that comes down to Sanders Beach knows this house is Halloween house anyway, and I certainly have not taken the skeleton out of the window. So if anybody comes at night looking at these lights and then looks at my house and sees a skeleton looking at them, maybe it'll scare them into turning the lights off. So let's see, and hopefully, we can get James back in a few weeks. His idea was to take a vacation for about a month and a half, and we're coming up on it. I think he said he's going to try to come back maybe late September, early October. Maybe we can hold him to that. That would be super cool. And then, of course, he'll take his trip to HHN in a couple of weeks in October and go see 13 Skeletons sometime in October. And we'll have video and pictures of all the above. What else? What else is going on? I definitely plan to do trick-or-treating this year, even if it really is eating the treats. And I'm going to publicize. That's another thing I really want to start doing is publicizing that this house will be doing trick-or-treat to the whole damn city of Pensacola. I'd love to just have some drive-by trick-or-treaters. He says, you've done great holding the fort. Well, thanks, Keith. I appreciate that. I know that it gets a little bit more fun quite a bit more fun when it's me and James rambling back and forth, but I can definitely talk for hours. But we try not to do that too much, huh? And I've tried to be as informative as possible, and definitely entertaining. Hopefully tonight was entertaining. I was definitely entertained last night when I was staring at the lights and taking the pictures in the rain. By the way, the pictures you see that I took, I literally had a big ass umbrella over me and my good camera, laughing about that. It wasn't raining hard, but I'm like, I could not let any water get on the camera, especially the front lens. Because I was like, oh my God, please, just let me get these pictures. Um, but as far as haunt news, I mean, what's really weird is even in the UK with Scare Tour, their updates, they're having attractions in the UK shut down as well. Some permanently, some just because of COVID. Um, uh, I'm even with what's going on still now. I'm sort of amazed at what I'm seeing here in the United States, but they're all saying it's for the best. None of them are being obstinate or pissy about it. They're definitely taking the high road and using common sense with their decisions. I hate to see any haunted attraction closed permanently. Um, that sucks, unless they suck. But the ones that are deciding that it's just time is a good time to, or is a good to just basically keep on the low key. Excuse me. Thumbs up for that on them. Um, but I definitely plan. I do have I hope it doesn't come to this. I do have a contingency plan. If for some weird ass reason these lights are not taken care of prior to me knowing I really need to start decorating, I have a contingency plan. That 13 is if I have to do the contingency plan will be when I get really pissed off. That is when I will become excessively aggravated, and that will be a show for everyone to remember. Um, because I've also determined that if I have to alter my plans that I was going to do last year, that I want then do this year, and I have to alter them again because of these lights, I guarantee you, and I will say this as a fact on this show, there will be people fired at Marine Max. I will be absolutely sure that heads roll at that place. He says, "There's no shame in shuttering until the pandemic is over." Very true. And there isn't. And like I said, they're every single one of them that has decided to low key it again this year has been extremely straightforward about it. Um, um, Definitely on a high note, not being belligerent or pissy or upset. Um, Very matter of fact, and the safety of their actors and customers comes before anything else. 13 says alien invasion thing. You talking about if I have to do if I have to do an alternate? Yeah, maybe. I could say that the lights are the aliens coming down to get everybody. I could just say that it's like a midnight tanning booth for vampires. I will say though, if I have to go, I'm not going to say what the alternate is because I don't really want to have to do it. If I have to do it, I'll let y'all know and you'll start seeing it. And like I said, you'll also start hearing me talk about who all's getting fired from the boat shop across the street because it will occur. It will occur hands down. Um, and probably not just by my hand either. I'm telling you, this whole neighborhood would get in on it without a shadow of a doubt. So, but no reason to be no reason to be pessimistic about it. I suppose it's clowns, isn't it? Tanning clowns, vaping tanning clowns. There's a look on the bright side. Wait, never mind. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, that's why I'm keeping. I'm joking about it because I know it's going to be taken care of. It's um, I'm not so worried about it. Clowns from outer space. Yeah, no shit. Um, it's all good. Like I said, I think the primary plan is still a go. That's why I'm actually pretty high spirited about it. Um, no reason not to be. So, but at least y'all got to see finally the next phase of what's going across the street. I know, like I said, 13 has been biting at the bit and very graciously keeping up with it. And I'm glad I finally was able to present it along with how it's going to be taken care of. And you got to see some. I mean, oddly enough, you got to see some really well lit nighttime pictures of my house. You and I both. Although it looks just fine during the day with the natural sunlight. But folks, I guess what we'll do, since we are at a quarter after the hour, and I promise I will let y'all go and let me go, we will wind things down. Once again, for me and James, everybody continue staying safe. If there's anything you want me to talk about on the show, please let me know. We will go ahead and say that next Sunday, once again, a Sunday, not Monday stream, we'll start talking about some weird history of this house and maybe some other random things. And if you think of anything else you'd like to talk about, let me know. I'm all about a question and answer. When y'all ask questions, I love it. Once again, y'all make the show, not me, not James, not me and James. It's y'all make the show, and we're always ecstatic when y'all can stop by. Ezekiel, thank you for the chat, man. It's great seeing you. But yeah, everybody, thank you so much again. Once again, I will see you again on Sunday, not Monday, but Sunday. We will chat about the house, and I'll have some other pictures for you. And once again, humbly, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. If y'all ever need anything, let me know. 13 says, good luck, MD. Thanks. We may know some new stuff on Sunday about what's going on. So we'll see about the lights. But literally, everybody, thank you so much again. Take care. Stay safe. We're close to October and our favorite time of year. So let's all have fun with it. Oh, wait, Icy Monsters, good luck with code enforcement. Looking forward to hearing good news about it next week. Scary stories. Good night, all. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Once again, thank you so much. Keep a smile on your face. Stay safe, and we'll see you Sunday. End of line.
The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by the memories that refuse to die. I can't get away from a vision that brings intimate glimpses of intimate things. The voice in my heart, like a torch singer sings. I wonder who's kissing her now. The house is haunted by the echo of your favorite song. The place is cluttered up by roses that have lived too long, much too long. The ceiling is white, but the shadows are black. A ghost in my heart says she'll never come back. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. Lights are soft and low tonight, summer breezes blow tonight, and to think that we're apart, knowing you refuse to love someone that you used to love. There's a chill within my heart. I hate to be alone when evening falls. I'm so afraid of all those empty halls, doors and walls. The ceiling is white, but the shadows are all black. A ghost in my heart says she'll never come back. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye.